right. Hi, I'm Carolyn.
I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out.
Welcome to episode 41. It is Saturday, December 30th, and we are in the middle of our vacations. And
awesome.
Enjoying ourselves.
Middle for you. I'm winding down. I have 3 more days.
Is that all?
Mm-hmm. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. I'm loving it. We're winding down also 2023. Here we go to 2024.
It'll be 2024 when this is published, right?
It will be 2024 when this is published. So
we're glad you're here. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well and getting a lot of good stitching time in. It's been really fun on Instagram, just sort of seeing what people are thinking about, or I've started to see some whip parades and different things. The museum,
bring them on.
The museum stitcher today on Instagram, I just saw it really quickly. She had a 30-second little video where she just went through all of her like 42 whips.
Clever.
Just really
learning
quick
from the youngers.
I know. I thought it was really fun to see it, and they were all beautiful. Okay, so we have a lot for you. This episode, we're really going to be focusing on our plans for 2024. It's been really fun thinking about those.
I've had a great time thinking about them.
And before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're wearing. We have some FFOs, we have some finished things, and we have a few whips. So, and of course, we'll end with our thumbs up, as always. Mm-hmm. So before we go, let's do a little toast.
Okay. We've had a lot of big family fun over the last week and a half or so, including Christmas Eve at Carolyn's house, which is just a glorious time. And
all right,
let's just toast to that and just a little break from school.
And a break from school. This might still be a little bit too hot. This is like my favorite go-to thing is slice up a few slices of grapefruit and put it in hot water. It's like making your own tea.
I think it's my first time trying it. It's really good. Maybe I've had it.
Isn't that good?
I love grapefruit.
Oh, me too. I know. So. Even like I love the smell of grapefruit and things, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'd like to take a little sip of that soap. But I'll pause and do that. So Anna, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing the Komodo triangle dress, and we'll see it on the catwalk. This is a dress where if you make it on wide enough fabric, I think the fabric has to be at least 54 inches wide, there's only one pattern piece. And it's a seam down the back of the dress. Now I inset some sleeves from another pattern, so I have 3 seams instead of 1. But it's fun. It's a really fun pattern to make. It's by Alice & Co. Patterns.
So that's a quick sew.
Yes.
It's probably like you have to be really careful cutting it out. Is the fabric on the bias at all?
Yes, so that's exactly right. But what the funny thing that happened is this fabric actually was diagonal. So when I cut it on the bias, it put it as a grid. So I did, for some reason that didn't compute until after I cut it out, and I was like, wait a minute.
Did you like that, or did you miss having that?
Oh, I missed. I think that I much prefer that. I would have much preferred if this is
on the grid.
I made a little dress for M. For baby M out of this fabric.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I like your dress better than my dress. But you make something and you learn. Wear this anyway.
And you're like, whoops, there went the bias by cutting on the bias.
Now I know.
Yeah.
What are you wearing, Carolyn?
Okay, I'm wearing a sweater. This is called The Botanist, and it was designed by Thea Coleman. She is Baby Cocktails is her sort of handle. as a designer.
That's funny.
And I love this sweater. First of all, it's super cozy, but I also love the story of it. The store in Oakland that I talk a lot about called A Verb for Keeping Warm. This is a yarn. It's now called Horizon. It's now called Horizon. It was originally called Pioneer. It's now called Horizon. And what their goal is to get U.S. farmed sheep and U.S. milled yarn. So this yarn came from Sally Fox's farm in Napa. And Sally Fox also grows colored cotton. So she's a really, really interesting person in the fiber community. So they got this from her sheep and they milled it locally. And so it was really fun to buy this yarn and knit the sweater.
That must be satisfying.
So a lot of just nice memories in it. It's also really, really warm. So
it making me hot. It's making me hot.
Yeah, I'm a little hot right now because I took a walk before Anna came, but it's great. And on the catwalk, there's even the back is fantastic, the cabling and everything.
It's beautiful.
I feel like it was a visit. I think I knit it in the fall of 2018 and finished it in the winter of 2019. Because I think when Joan was visiting for Thanksgiving that year, we went up there because she got the same sweater. She might have gotten the yarn in a slightly different color.
I remember that trip.
I think she's knit one. I don't know. Do you know if she's finished hers?
I can't remember.
Joan, if you watch this, did you finish? So, cozy sweater.
Yeah, those cables. Forgot to talk about the weather because we're finally getting some rain and my family was out on a walk.
Yeah, tell your story from this morning.
Including, we have toddler revisiting and we went out for a walk and it walked pretty far and it started to pour. And so luckily we did have some umbrellas, but it was slow going and we finally called my son-in-law and he came and picked us up.
It's so funny because I thought, just from looking at your photos, I thought you had driven to downtown Palo Alto and were walking like to Phil's down there because I almost texted you to say, do you need a ride?
Yeah. So it was a very funny, and now it's like sunny and it's actually very warm outside.
Mm-hmm. It's actually really nice outside.
Pouring this morning during our walk.
And I think everybody was out because it rained really hard yesterday and then it was raining this morning, but it was supposed to be done. Same thing, John had biked up to our grocery store and he got up there and I guess it just poured. And so I tried to text him and say, do you want me to come pick you up? But of course he left his phone at home. So this is California rain excitement.
Yeah.
So let's do a little bit like our
fully finished objects. You know
objects.
What cracks me up, Carolyn, is that I think I've suggested to you in the past, like, do you want to make each other an ornament? And you're like, no, I don't really want the pressure or whatever. And then we each made each other something for Christmas after all.
I know.
But maybe that is different.
Okay, right? I just need to start with what Anna made. It is so unbelievable. All right, so I'm going to hold it up and Anna, why don't you talk about the details?
This is called the Quaker Reindeer. And it's a little extra that's in this work basket pattern called Deer Tree.
Here, why don't you?
So I purchased this pattern a few months ago, and on the back, I need to cover it up.
In fact, Anna, I think you were showing the pattern, and we were both like, oh, look at that on the back.
So, and there's a sweet little note saying that they felt like they had to just include it with this pattern because they just felt like it matched. So this is on 56 count Little Bunny by XJU Designs with a SwaStervine. I can't remember the number, and it was in the bedroom with the little one sleeping, so I couldn't get it before I came over. But the linen has a little bit of pink in it, and I just felt like the sort of a rusty red. It's matched it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I started this on a whim, and it was just screaming your name the whole time.
Unbelievable. So Anna came over for Christmas Eve dinner. We have a family dinner for Christmas Eve. And I don't know, I was putzing around doing whatever.
She was working very hard.
I was working, you know.
You came in for the champagne toast, I think.
I came in for the champagne toast, and I look over on the Christmas tree, and Anna had hung this on the tree.
So fun.
And I just was like, So, do you believe she stitched that on 56 count? Anna, I'm just like blown away.
It's the antlers. The antlers to me look like plants.
Yeah, I'm just going to show I'm going to show all the details. But I love, first of all, I love the fabric. And then I love how simple the rickrack is,
Yeah,
finishing
it goes well.
And then all she did was this beautiful little silk ribbon. That's the hanger.
Floss something hand-dyed silk. I got it up at Needle in a Haystack.
So you could even...
I think I would do a similar finish again. I think it's really pretty for an ornament.
Going back to sort of these, I love these sort of flat cards, because same thing.
I knew it couldn't be a pillow for Carolyn. Flat.
Because you could always just like prop it up someplace too.
Right.
I'm definitely not going to put this away.
Well, I'm really glad you like it. It was very fun.
I love it. Okay. So. Awesome.
And then I opened my Christmas present on Christmas morning. We sisters pick names, and Carolyn had picked my name, and she gave me the gift of, we're going to go on a little outing together, which we'll tell you more about when it happens. And then she made me this needle book.
You have to tell the story.
It's so pretty. So tiny.
I know.
I love the way you finished this. So pretty. The story is, I'm going to a series of workshops for work down in the LA area, and I was down and I was getting myself all set up. I brought my little lamp, and I'm so clever. I was like, I'm going to flip the ice bucket over and get the lamp. I'm snuggled in bed, get the lamp up high. I brought my wee Santa down. I was all ready to go. Could not find my needle. I found it on the floor of my family room when I got back home. But so we were laughing about it. I honestly was a little heartbroken in the moment. And I thought, I just need to keep a 28 tapestry needle in my purse.
Yeah. So I put this in a little plastic bag, and I'm like, put your purse. Olivia B had a similar, like, horrifying but funny story that's in one of her October Vlogmas. So you go and listen to yourself. But she's going to a stitch meetup. She's super excited about it. And she drives there, and then she walks to, and she sits down to stitch, and no needles. So I gave her her own personalized one, and I'm like, keep it in your glove compartment. And I'm like, keep it in your purse.
Yeah, because I never keep my needle. I actually have a needle in one of the things I brought over. I almost never keep a needle in my linen. I have a little bowl in my table next to my stitching chair, and I just keep needles in a little bowl.
Oh, okay. So I keep one in my piece, but I don't always assume it's going to be there. Okay. So this is a little. I don't know what the linen is. These were just MPI silks I like, and a little A.
I really like.
I got this little piece from some bigger chart. Who is the designer?
Well, I actually know.
How do you know?
Because you told me.
So Teresa Kogut. I just saw that little bird, quirky bird. It's like really fun.
It's perfection for me.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Like, you know, when you see something and you can just identify with it, you're like, bird and the great A.
Isn't it fun just how small it is too?
Yeah. So
and you got your 28s.
Who knows if we'll ever make each other anything
that could be
again
it.
at the holidays.
That could be it.
That was really fun.
Well, it's fun when you make it and you don't have any pressure to do it.
I know that's what you were trying to avoid. And
yes,
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know how satisfying it is when you don't feel pressure and you make something.
Or I always think like that's why people do Christmas in July. Like I'm guessing all of a sudden now I'm like, oh, because then you can stitch something then.
Yeah.
And no pressure for that.
Because I gave my son-in-law his ornament, his patriotic.
That's right. What was his reaction?
He liked it. But I made it in the summer and it was just tucked away in the drawer.
That's
I have to say that was really nice.
That's right.
To have that ready. I actually asked him directly because I really wasn't sure how much. This is the second year I stitched him a patriotic Christmas thing, and I said, like, would you want another one? Would you want them indefinitely? Would you want one more? And he said, I love them. So I'm gonna keep going.
That's great, because it's such a good personal thing to give somebody. And you're right, if you maybe do them in the summer and add your little date to the back.
It sort of cracks me up. Of all the people in our extended family, the person I've made things for the most is my son-in-law.
Yeah.
But he has such a niche thing that he loves, which is fun to zero in on.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing I'm going to share, and this came totally out of the blue as well, which made it even more special, is my sister-in-law. Her name's Helen. Hi, Helen. I hope you're watching. She sent us a little package that had this really, really cool book of historic family photos, that's a whole nother story. Incredible. But then she tucked this in there too for me. She's a beautiful stitcher and crafter, and she made this ornament for me.
That's really pretty.
It's needle pointed, and it's so special because we have a little camping van, and the angel is holding a picnic table. Oops, I kind of got flipped around. is holding a picnic table. So and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like our camping guardian angel. So there's already know there's a spot in our van. So whenever we go traveling, I'm going to take this. It's a nice little safe spot where we can hang her too.
Helen,
she's going to come.
So thoughtful. I gotta get my hands
Oh yeah.
on
Okay.
that.
Here, you can touch it. So Helen, and it's also sort of when you also get an unexpected gift. We open the box and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I love how there are mountains there, and we have so many great camping memories too. So it's just
got a little sparkle going on in the angel wings and the collar and the braid on the side.
Yeah, and I was looking at it. It's really cool. The braid on the side. There's also right along this edging is also stitched on the piece in that metallic.
Oh yeah.
So it sort of like feels like it's really integrated.
Oh, I guess in the halo too, or the.
Oh, and the halo. Yep, and around the top of the wings. Maybe around a lot of the edging.
Oh, I wonder if we should try that.
Oh, interesting. Like stitching,
or
even
not
a
leaving
border,
but bringing it
around the back or something. Ideas. So, Helen, treasured. Thank you. I think too, as a crafter yourself too, you also know that's special.
I even like on Instagram when someone said, I just received this from so-and-so, or I made this and sent it to so-and-so. I even like watching that kind of thing, because you kind of get this feeling of, I know how that feels. It's so special.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some finishes.
We got some FFOs. So as I've talked about in a couple of our previous episodes, I participated in the Modern Folk Embroidery Roxy Floss Co. Evertote Holiday Countdown, and it was so fantastic. I've talked about it multiple times. I kept up on it every day, with the exception, I did not stitch Christmas Eve or Christmas. So the 24th and 25th, I just stitched the 26th and 27th. I didn't try to rush myself. So first, let me just show it. I'll talk a little bit more about it. So here is my finished piece.
I'm just gonna say fabulous. Fabulous for keeping up, fabulous for the colors you chose. It's just fabulous.
I'm already signed up for next year. Please do it again.
If you can sign up? Do you mean?
Well, I mean,
okay.
Sign me up kind of thing.
All right.
So, yeah, this is stitched on 36 count overcast linen by Cedar River Linen and Design. I have a couple things going on Cedar River. I really like her linen a lot.
I should put that in my plans. Stitch on some Cedar River.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I keep using. I just ordered a bunch more. I'll talk about that later. I did not get the version that came with the floss, but Carolyn, one of the things she did, which just is incredible, she would have a video that got launched every day. She would kind of show, here's the floss that if you got floss was in your pack, and then she would show you the before and the after. So, and then she would also highlight, especially toward the end, sometimes one color would be used in lots of little places around it. So she'd sort of say, there's some here, there's some there. So,
I mean, that really speaks to her dedication and to her, the importance of community building. It's really a beautiful gift to the community.
I'm just sending Caroline a huge thank you, because that was a huge commitment. She was the host of the Stitch Along, and she just knocked it out of the park. It made a big difference. It was so fun. Every morning I would get up before work and watch her video and then be thinking about the color and then pulled it in.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. One other thing I allowed myself to do is I was building this beautiful palette of colors, and I tried whenever possible to use a Roxy Floss Co. floss that was in my stash. And I'd say a good chunk of them are Roxy Floss Co. colors. So that was really fun. And I don't want to take this apart, because I also really like all those colors. I'll show in a minute which color, but this is the color I took out. Okay. Then I also told myself at the end, you are able to pick one of the colors you chose and change it if you want. I ended up changing two, but I changed the color of this motif in here and the greens that are surrounding it. I'm going to put a picture of what it was previously right here. And you'll see it's a much, much, much brighter pink. In fact, this is the pink that I ended up taking out. And it's a beautiful pink, but I felt like it was too much of a focal point. And I loved this pink. We put that in on the very last day that's up here. And I just felt like I wanted it there to give movement around there. And then once I changed that pink, I also needed to just to change the green.
Do you have a picture of what it looked like before?
I put it right here.
Oh, did you already say that?
Yeah.
I try to listen so hard.
I can't show Anna because it's on my phone and my phone is videoing us.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
I'm going to take my sweater off for a minute. I'm like getting a little sweaty, getting a little swampy.
Well, you're talking about, important things.
Let's see. What else do I want to say about this? Oh, okay. The other thing I'm going to say is if you want to go look at everybody else's finishes, it's the hashtag is handcrafting Countdown SAL 2023. And I highly, highly recommend that you go look at Carmen. And Carmen, her Instagram handle is Cardamom Pins. And she also has a floss tube. I'll put it right along here. She did both last year and this year's in a 3-color palette. And then she hem stitched both of them. So her Instagram post was probably, if today's the 30th, she probably posted it either on the December 28th or 29th if you're watching this in the future. But it's spectacular. Makes me kind of want to go back and do last year's. And she also, last year's had 2 like side-by-side panels. She did it as one long one. So really, really inspiring to see what she did. But anyway, go look at Countdown SAL 2023. It's just fun to see everybody's. And there we have it. That was sad.
I'm sipping away in my.
I'm going to miss that daily. The daily.
Well, maybe you can.
ritual.
Well, I guess you wouldn't have the surprise or the Caroline video, but maybe you can figure out a daily ritual that is pleasing.
I think what I'm going to do again is if I have a sampler that I like, I'm going to just take the chart, not look at the colors, and do my own color conversion. I really enjoyed that. Like I had a few colors, and the next day, okay, what else do I want to stitch? What color do I want to introduce? So instead of trying to get the palette all at once, start someplace and kind of layer on color. I really enjoyed that.
Quilting, like sometimes you might piece a little bit of a quilt and you think, oh, I need something that's a little bit more bright. And you go back to the store and you get something, and you sort of respond to what you have, like what's next, what's needed for balance or interest or depth.
Because there were some times where I didn't add a new color because I took one that I had before because I kind of wanted some of the colors to move around the piece. So
yes,
really, really fun. So thank you everybody involved with that. I so appreciate it.
I didn't even do it, and I had so much fun watching Carolyn and listening to you.
And I think I would do the same thing next time. I think even though no matter, I love Roxy flosses, and I'm going to we'll have a lot in our stash, but I think I'm going to do the same thing where I pick colors along the way. Okay, so this is my next finish. Can anybody guess?
I can guess.
All right, it is Pretty Bird, all done. Pretty Bird was designed by Gigi of the Artsy Housewife, and it's stitched on another Cedar River linen. This is 36 count Tephra is the other color. And this is done using the Roxy Flosco conversion, and Anna bought this or was given to you, or you bought it for your birthday, and she shared the floss with me, so we both had the floss. And this was our first time using Roxy Flosco, and this, we were like,
drooling.
Open the floodgates.
Like you said, it has depth. There's variation in it, or the variegation in it.
And just her colors are rich and deep and sophisticated. Really, it's, there's nothing, I'm going to say, I don't think there's anything special about the floss itself. You know what I mean? It's a good fine cotton floss. It's the colors that make a difference for me. So this one I finished. There's just a little bit of, what color is it? Like a light blue around the bird's eyeballs. And often when I finish, I'm sad. When I finish this, you know what? I had this, okay, this is gonna sound really, I'm just being totally real with you.
People are gonna be able to relate.
I had this wave of gratitude because I'm like, Gigi, thank you for designing such an amazing chart. And then I'm like,
designers need to know that. I think maybe you don't realize what an impact you have on stitchers.
And then I'm like, Kerri, thank you for dyeing such incredible floss. And then Jody of Cedar River Linens, and she's also Trixie Tricycle, I'm like, thank you for the care and dyeing of your linen. So there was something, it kind of hit me that these are 3 entrepreneurial, creative women that made it possible to have this beautiful stitch. So I just had this wave of gratitude. So you 3, I'm grateful. This one I'm gonna frame using a colored frame. It's gonna be my first time using a colored frame from Signed and Numbered.
Jury's out for me. I can't wait to see it.
Okay. I think I'm going to get Lovely Dove. Still probably sitting in my Evertotes. Although I'm now tempted to get the pattern and try my own conversion, but I might get the conversion and then see where it is.
Yeah, I not be able to resist.
All right, we're going to now go to some whips. Why don't you go first, Anna?
Okay, we're going to both show our North Pole, which is one of Kathy Barrick's recent designs. And Carolyn and I both bought the NPI silks from Hillside Rookery, the floss pack, floss kit. What is it called?
Floss pack, I think.
And I've had really very little stitching time, but I've just put a little bit on one tree, a little finish of a reindeer. I am loving every stitch, and I imagine I'm going to continue to stitch on this at least for another week or so before putting it away. I would hope to get down to Santa's belly button, which, Carolyn, you're to the belt, so you'll see it on Carolyn soon. That's kind of what I think will be a good natural stopping place for me. I'm just loving every stitch.
Okay, you were a little medium, or you were unsure about the linen last time we showed. Where are you right now?
I'm still feeling that way, although you told me that once you got more of Santa's coat on, you're feeling better. So I'm looking forward to evaluating that by looking at yours. I mean, I like it. Okay. I just thought when we threw the floss down on it, I thought, spectacular.
You put his eyeballs in? I have put his
They're
eyeballs
green.
in. So here's where I am. And I'm, as with Anna, I'm just continuing to also really love this. And I love, as many projects, I have a choice. Am I in the mood for doing just fill-in? Do I want to do some little motifs? Do I want to do some geometric border? And it's been really fun. His hat, I was off. I'd skipped one row on his hat, which kind of threw a few things off. But then, you're like, okay, I recompensated. And then I know, for all of the motifs next to his hat, I'm like, don't count off his hat, count off of something else.
Right.
Little reindeers.
I like, when we were talking about this last time, there's a lot of different greens in there. It's surprising at first, but you stitch half of a strand of one tree, and then you look around and you think what other tree has this color, and jump to that one. I'm just enjoying that whole bit too.
Yeah. And I want to congratulate 3 stitchers who have recently finished North Pole. So Susan of Susan_414, and I'll scroll. These are their Instagram handles because I totally encourage you to go take a look at what they've done. Sandy, Ducks, Stitchy Chick.
And she changed the color of the coat.
She did. It looks really good. And then Rupee, West Coast _Stitcher, and I'll scroll their Instagram handle. So it's fun. And some of us have been using the hashtag North Pole KB, but I know there's some other stitchers that I've seen stitching it that haven't used that hashtag. So I also search for Kathy Barrick designs or Kathy Barrick.
Well, there's a whole cluster of friends who started it recently.
There are. So Becky of Socks for Mom sort of started an assignment, and then she's so gracious. I think in her last video, she just also put an invitation, let me know if you want to do it too, and I'll share our stitchy assignments. So I know a couple other people are also joining in. So I love when people do that, it's just, I think, so inclusive when you may be doing something with your friends, but you're like, yeah, anybody else want to join us?
Sure.
I'll share our assignments. All right, so North Pole.
So you're going to keep stitching on this one?
I have no plans to put this one away. It feels also very wintry for me. I might keep going.
And how are you feeling about the color of Santa's coat?
Love it.
I do too.
I tend to like orange, so if a red goes, it is more of a peachy orange. I like it though. Just here's some of the, you want to see the oranges
and I
and
want
all
to
the
think
greens.
what went through Kathy Barrick's head of how to choose that color for Santa's coat? What was her inspiration? How did she get that idea?
Okay,
Matt.
let's all message Kathy. It would be really fun to have a video of her going through her thought process, a design process.
Any designer, how about before market? We get little video clips of some thoughts that went in while designing.
I would love to hear that. It's such an interesting process.
We should start a podcast interview. Some people call FlossTubes podcasts.
I know.
They're
You know, it's so funny because podcasts, you know, of course, originated audio, but like a vidcast, it just sounds weird.
Yeah.
So I think, and I don't know if podcast now has broadened not just audio, but you know, a regular installment.
I can't mean to look it up.
FlossTube might be we might be doing a podcast. There was a person, I wish I could remember, it was in the knitting world. She doesn't do it anymore. Her name is Ashley, excuse me. And she interviewed somebody related to knitting or the bigger knitting world. It was like every 2 weeks. It was fantastic. Because you just learn so much. It was like designers, it could be dyers. She had a shepherd on there, a person that ran a mill. It was so interesting.
It does sound interesting.
That would be cool though, wouldn't it, to interview? Now, doesn't Sambry of Sambry Stitches, she interviews different people?
Oh, I don't know. Let's go check that out. Maybe it's already happening.
Would you like us to interview you? Just let us know and we will. I know, being a good interviewer though is such a skill and a talent for that.
Right.
Okay.
Your sweater is coming next.
Okay. I've been working on the Kachamik sweater, and it's Kachamik. It's designed by Caitlin Hunter, and her handle is Boylan Knitworks. Really great turtleneck. And the yarn I'm using,
So pretty.
I'll show you the yarn, then I'll show you the sweater. Where's my yarn label?
Hold this up a little bit longer.
Yeah, here it is. I'm just using actually the called for yarn and colors, which I do sometimes. It's by Moondrake, and it's Corriedale DK. And my colors are the chocolate brown, and then these are my 2 accent colors. So here I am. I finished my first, I'm working from the top down, so here's my turtleneck. My needles, okay. Here's my turtleneck, and I've done my first repeat of the color work in here.
Wow.
And I'm working on the body again. And I'm at the point when you're doing a yoke sweater, so I'm kind of down in here. I'm at the point now where I have maximum stitches because it's not only my body circumference, but it's also the shoulder and over my arm. So I'll get down to a point where then you break those stitches into 2 tubes for your arm and a tube for your body. So
then will you have to seam up the side seam?
No.
Oh.
So what happens is you take off some stitches that are going to be your arms, and then I'll cast on, you know, you do have one little seam under here under your arm, like about an 8-stitch seam there. And then your body gets joined and keeps going down in a circle. So everything's done in the round. So I'll just give you a closer look. This color work, it's always so fun. And every row is using 2 yarns at one time. So 2 colors. And then here's your back. And if you're not using the yarn to make the stitch, those are called floats that come along the back. And for me, and I think it's very common for knitters, when you're doing color work, your stitches are going to be a little smaller, a little denser, and a little tighter because you've got those 2 yarns going at the same time. So I always, whenever I do my color work, I go up and use 1 size larger needle than if I'm using a single color. And it's really cool. I use a set of interchangeable needles. So actually the needle tip can be taken on and off the cord. So all I need to do is change my needle tips.
Does it screw?
It does. There's a little...
And it still feels smooth?
Oh,
wow.
Wow. This is fantastic. These are the Chaigu needles for the knitters out there. I love their cords. I love their needles. So I got their interchangeable set. I think it has sizes just 2 to 6. So I keep it in this really cute little...
Really pretty, Carolyn.
bag. So I'm really loving this sweater. And I hope I'll finish it in January so I can wear it.
Oh my gosh, I just can't even believe you would finish it that fast. But I mean,
I've done a good chunk, and it's a little bit of a longer sweater, and I feel like I might bring it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm going to, once I get to, plus I don't have enough yarn, I don't think, and I ordered a new skein of the chocolate brown, and it's really hard to find, but it's definitely a completely different color. So that might also help. So I might end up only having...
It's funny because I feel like in the knitting world, everyone just understands different dial. If the dial out's not the same, it's going to be a different color.
Right.
But with hand-dyed flosses, people can sometimes be surprised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were talking to Kathy at A Needle in a Haystack, and she said something really interesting though too, because she said, oh, DMC can actually also change their die lat too, but you don't notice it as much because when they dye, they'll dye like hundreds of thousands in one dye lot. So it might be years before they need to re-dye that color and have a new dye lot. So I thought that was really interesting. Whereas like a smaller dyer, let's say probably like Kerri at Roxy Floss Co., she's probably dyeing more on the magnitude of, I don't know, 100. I'm just making that up.
I have no idea.
That. So that's my starter.
All right, and then our last work in progress is my wee Santa, which I just keep chipping away at. I'm getting close to being done, and like I said,
oh, the presents new?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Presents and a little bit more of the arch, this bow. And I'm going to finish it this season.
Yeah, you are.
And I'd like to fully finish it. Let me get my little. It's the Heart in Hand Wee Santa 2022. I am one thread off somewhere up here in the brown that I just put in, but I don't think it's going to make a bit of a difference. I still think it's super cute. I think I want to back it in. I think I want to make it a pillow. I think I want to put pink fabric on the back. We're just pinked out. Totally pinked out with this. So I just need a few more evenings and then I'm wanting to finishing.
It's good. Yeah. So you'll even into January if you need to. Don't put that away, Anna, because remember the other day you had, did okay, not the other day. Last time we filmed, remember you had like
4 or 5.
Five?
Everything's just sort of sitting there, and like we said earlier in the video, I'm going to have a string of days in this coming week, and then when the new year starts, where my husband's going to be working. I'm basically going to have an empty house. I plan on crafting pretty much the whole week.
Anna, that's going to be great. Because also, Lynn's family's going to be gone.
It's going to be...
most people are going to be back to work.
Take out for dinner.
Nice. Crafting.
So
okay,
I'm like,
good.
maybe I can get in... I've even thought, I know, this might be ambitious, but like maybe stitch a finish, because I'm really close to finishing a couple, and then finish it the next day.
Yeah.
And then stitch the finish and finish it the next... Fully finish it the next day.
So then you would do like one stitching, one fully finish. You can do that,
Don't you
Anna.
think I can get that
Don't you
rhythm?
think? I think Anna can definitely do that.
We'll see what happens. I'll report back next video.
I also find like when I was on my sabbatical, it was in the morning that I like to do the fully finishing. I felt really fresh.
I still want to make project bags too. So a project bag, a stitch finish, a fully finish. I can do it.
You can do it. You can do it.
Stay in my pajamas. Drink lots of coffee.
Somebody on some FlossTube said something like, "Oh yeah, I just changed from my nighttime pajamas into my daytime pajamas." I got a really nice pair of sweatpants this year, and like holidays, they're like daytime pajamas. I know they're like pants that you wear outside or you wear to the gym, but they feel like pajamas. They're awesome. Okay, we've got so many plans now that we want to share with you. 2024, new year, we're on plans. Do you want to start with your plans, Anna?
Sure.
Or do you want to go back and forth?
Let's do a little back and forth.
Let's do a little back and forth.
I like that. Okay. I started a little sampler snack last year on the 1st of January, and I really, really liked that experience. And since then, I've heard them referred to as blessing samplers. I'm going to call it a blessing sampler. I'm going to start the Scarlet House Scarlet Berries.
Love it, Anna.
On New Year's Day.
Love it.
And I'm going to use all the called for, which is Weeks Cocoa and Weeks...
Those colors are beautiful.
Cottons. And one of the things that I'm finding intriguing about this pattern is that center band is 15 pairs of initials. And I've thought about what initials I'd like to put in. And Carolyn's husband, John, has done a lot of work with our maternal line. And I think I'm going to have quite a few pairs from that. And then I'm going to fill in with maybe sister's initials or a couple of other initials.
Because Anna, I checked if to you and including you, that's 10, would be 10 women. So then if you did MK, baby E, it's 12. Pick 3 of your 4s.
Well, I could find another. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think through that. But I've been wanting to do something with our matrilineal line in a sampler And I think I'm going to start with this.
That's really cool.
May not be the
I
end
love
of
it.
but
I love it.
Can't wait.
I love it. I'm going to do the same thing. So I also had a January start that I finished it in February or something. But I do like that idea, sort of that blessing sampler that you start on the first of the year and you do it. And I'm going to be stitching Peace on Earth by La Di Da. Hillside Rookery Olivia showed this. I think she custom got the MPI silks for it, and she just showed it casually, like on Instagram, like, oh, this is so beautiful, and I instantly ordered the chart. I just loved it.
It's a really neutral palette with the MPIs. I think it's very pretty.
Yeah. So, and then what I ended up doing, and the saying on this says, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." And I ended up, I'll go ahead and show this. When we went up to Needle in a Haystack, I first pulled the DMCs, and I actually kept them. Sometimes I like them for reference.
I like to do that
and
too.
And then I did a silk conversion to 103s and some goblins, and added in a few more colors. If you look down here, there's some mauve-y pinks. One of those was a called for, but there's a row of flowers up here that are done in a tan, and I just need a little bit more color, so I'm going to be putting in some of the mauve-y pinks for that.
It's very fun for me to watch Carolyn in action in a Haystack and have her look at color and talk about color.
Yeah.
And we should film it sometime when the time is right, because she'll get her start and then she'll get some feedback from whoever's around, and she'll pull a few others, and then you go quiet again. And then you have like your final decision.
I know. And then I have it. I didn't pull the fabric, but I'm going to do it on Himalayan Fog.
Looks great.
It looks great. It's like, so that's going to be my New Year's Day start. Good.
Great. One of my other plans for 2024 is just samplers in general. I feel like I haven't stitched a lot of hours on samplers, and I don't know why, but I want to get back to them. Two that I started. Was it in this past year? The Smith sampler too? Anyway, two that I really want to make some progress on this year are.
This is a new start.
This is just like within the last 6 months, inspired by nature. And that's the one where I seamed 2 colors of linen together.
It's really cool, Anna.
So I want to get back to that.
Do you know what's holding you back?
No.
Is it because they're bigger projects, or it requires more thinking or more color changes?
We'll see when we have our whip parade. I think I've started quite a few things. I've done a lot of starts, and I think I've done some, like a small thing here or there kind of bit, and I want to get back to these samplers. The other one is the Smith sampler.
Yeah, I love that one.
I'm doing this in the Vicki Clayton silks. Here's a picture of it. At the Scarlet House. So I'm just in that top band. And when I look at these, I'm like, I find them both breathtaking still. So that's part of my plan, is to
get back into those.
Touch them. I tend to stitch something for 5 days or so. Maybe do that a series of times during the year.
Good. One thing I'm doing this year is I'm going ahead and I'm doing the Book of Days.
Okay.
So I got it bound like everybody else does, and then I got added. I really like this Japanese. This is graph paper, but it's not quite the same size, but that's
It's
fine.
really nice and slick. I like that paper
and
a lot.
especially I write with a mechanical pencil, and then I also got a little bit more cardstock added in that. Last year I was all into having my own like diary for doing it, and when I was on sabbatical, I mean, I kept up with it. Everything I was stitching, all kinds of notes on here. This was a week by week diary. I would have what my starts were. I mean, it was so fun. I went back to school. For a while,
Life is like that.
I know. For a while, I would just be writing what I was stitching each day, but I stopped doing my mega recording. So it was really fun to do, but I realized I don't have time to do that while I'm working. So then I decided I'll try a Book of Days, and because I do want to keep in the back of this book, I also had like what all my whips were starting 2023, what were my starts, what were my finishes. I like having that. So I decided I'm going to try it in this book this year. So that's part of my plans. Another big plan I have is it will have happened by the time you watch this video, but I'm so going to participate in the hashtag New Year's Eve NYE 12 by 12. And I'm doing it just a slightly differently because I can't do it from starting at 12 p.m. because I'm going over to Anna's house for a little party from 6 to 9. 9 o'clock.
I send it out like we're celebrating at 9, everybody. Champagne at 9.
I'm like there. So I'm starting at 8 in the morning and I pick 12 things that'll do. And I'm like taking like a little lunch and walk break at like noon. And then I'll take a little break. I'll do a couple things over at Anna's house. But I have my whole list. I posted it on Instagram, and for every hour, I'm going to do my thing for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to spend 10 minutes documenting it, putting it on Instagram, and socializing on Instagram. Because I don't want to just do it and not see what other people are doing.
Yeah,
And then 5 minutes of some kind of movement. So that's kind of my plan, how I'm going to do it. And I picked a combination. I have some whips. I have an FFO I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my book of days. That's one of my things. I have a new start. I'm going to prep, but not start my New Year's Day start. So that's all ready to go. I actually might do one stitch. So just it's ready to go on New Year's Day when I wake up. 9 o'clock. I've already gotten some feedback on Instagram that people really like my 9 o'clock, which is drink a glass of champagne.
Yeah, someone said, I think you need to do more of that.
I know. I figured of all the 12 things, that's totally. And then I'll come back from Anna's and I'll end the evening with turkey trot and a peacock, a unicorn, a badger. Those will be my 2 whips.
Fun.
So I am really, really looking forward to this. I can't wait to just see what other people are doing along the way. And I think the woman, Kia B, I think is one of the hosts. I think there might be 2 hosts. But I think she has like sort of a live FlossTube going throughout the day, or maybe is posting it with interviews with people. So I'll be checking in with that. I don't know.
It sounds really fun.
So
You really made it your own.
It caused me to first pull out all my whips, and I have 13 whips. We'll have to do a whip parade. This has been really fun. So that's a plan.
I have no idea how many whips I have.
None. Guess.
I happened to run across something that said that I started this year. When we did our last whip parade, I had 12.
Okay.
So I think I have 18.
Okay, let me see if I started this year. Oh, I started this year with 10. So I definitely have more whips than I did.
I feel like I've started a lot this year.
But of all the whips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the 10 I finished. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You finished a lot, I think.
All right. What other plans do you have?
What else did I? Oh, okay. I'm super excited about this idea. It's been simmering all year long. I want to make a dough bowl full of smalls that have baskets on them. Pulling baskets from larger pieces.
Love it, Anna.
So I want to try some different trims. Like I heard Kerri's going to be making some trims.
Oh, that's right.
And maybe I would be able to have an opportunity to try one of hers. Maybe try filling them with lavender. Does anyone ever fill their smalls with lavender or like pine needles or anything like that? Maybe it's not archival, but anyway. I thought about, should I choose a consistent palette? And I'm like, no, I think I want the collage of whatever colors are in the sampler I pull from.
And are you thinking about doing pillows or a combination of different, like some flats and pillows, some stand-ups?
I had pillows in mind, but I can be influenced. I'm going to start with Katrin and William, recent modern folk embroidery pattern. But again, I'm just going to do the flower pot from the middle. And I was really attracted to the negative space in the pot itself on this one. So this is what I'm talking about pulling from a larger piece. And you're doing the big flower pot from the Red Deer sampler. That, when I saw that, we had already talked about an idea like this. And I'm like, yes. I don't know. I can't. So I have a running list of samplers I see when people hold up samplers. I'm like, I love that basket. So I have some ideas. Like there's a strawberry basket in Teresa Kogut, Come to the Garden or something, that's really horizontal. I think I'm going to do that strawberry basket in the summertime. So I already have some ideas, but suggestions.
Yeah. And I think it's fun too, like how we did the Martha Evans last winter, how looking at a big sampler, but then pulling that motif. So you're maybe not necessarily looking for a small that's a basket. You're looking for maybe something on a bigger sampler. Like, have you seen this basket of flowers on the blah blah sampler?
Exactly. With Martha Evans, we really move things around. So I'm just looking for that like incredible or unique or funky basket that's part of anything. It could be a small, but a lot of the ones that I have on my list already are in samplers.
And I love that idea.
Can you see my vision, everybody?
Are you going to try to finish?
One every 2 months. So I'll have 6 at the end of the year.
Anna.
I thought about once a month and I thought, I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah.
Because they're probably going to take longer than I think.
Right.
And do I want 12 of those? I don't think so. So
that's going to be fun. I love your idea of keeping in the color families of the samplers. And then you might be thinking about like shapes of them as you're going along too.
Right. That's why I think I'm attracted to the strawberry basket, because it's more horizontal than vertical.
Anna, neat.
Really excited.
Neat. All right, so I've been thinking a lot. We both decided, I think, enjoyed WIPCO.
Very much.
Yeah,
way more than I was completely skeptical, and I enjoyed it a lot.
But I decided not to do WIPCO this year. I think Anna decided the same thing. But I wanted to take some of the elements I really liked and kind of make my own kind of thing. So here are my ideas of what I'm going to do. There's a lot of plans, so hang with me. First of all, I picked a focus piece for the year, and I would love to finish this WIP in the year. It's really a focus. I'm going to have it out all year and really try to work on it. Can you guess what it is? Fruits of Plenty. Really, it's just time, Carolyn. That's my focus piece. Then I thought it'd be fun. So that's the reason I pull out all my WIPs. I think I had 13 WIPs. I'm just going to write them all on a little piece of paper, fold them up, put them in a hat. And every week on Sunday, I'm going to pick a WIP out of the hat and work on that WIP for 3 days during the week. And then if it's not done, that name goes back in the hat. So some WIPs,
a probability problem in sixth grade.
It's a beautiful probability problem. I could pick the same WIP 2 weeks in a row, whatever. And I can also, of course, work on any of the other WIPs in my free time. But that's going to give me a focus. I called it the weekly focus WIP. So I'm going to have a weekly focus WIP. I think Doreen does this, where she'll often pull out a piece and she works on it for 3 or 4 days. And I find that actually 3 days, I really sometimes like to work for 3 days on something.
Yeah, I like more than that, I think.
All right. So that's my weekly focus WIP. So I have a year-long focus WIP, a weekly focus WIP. And then because I have so many finishes, every month, on the first of the month, I'm going to pick one of my finishes to fully finish during the month. And that way, by the end of the year, I should have at least 12
That's going
finishes.
To be awesome.
But I did not want any randomness or surprise. I wanted to be like, okay, I want to frame something, or I want to do this piece. So I want to control over which one I'm going to do. So I will declare on the first of the month which one I'm going to finish. And then finally, one of the things I loved about WIPCO is I love the surprise element. So I haven't finished my list, but I'm picking 12 WIPCO-y type things. Like I put on some little things like, start a new project, get an ice cream cone, make a gift for somebody else. Right. So I think I'm going to put those types of things that are not WIP related, but are more stitching, or take a trip to, our local needlework store, or, something like that, that's related to stitching or crafting. And that I'm going to draw. And that's going to be a surprise element. I'll pick that.
I offered to draw these things for her, but she's like, "No, I'm just going to put them in a hat and draw myself." Put them in a hat. Yeah. Love it. Our family did a lot of that growing up. It works well.
Yeah, I think for the WIPs, I might write them on popsicle sticks and just have the popsicle sticks like in a vase or something. And then when I finish the piece, that popsicle stick is done. Mm-hmm. If I start something new, that will also go in as a popsicle stick. So that will be sort of an involving like flower vase of WIPs.
We'll have to think about. I liked when Carolyn and I finished a WIPCO piece, we plunked some money into a jar and we're going to use it for a little crafting adventure. I would like to do something like that again.
Okay.
Maybe every time a popsicle stick comes out for you, or every time I finish a basket.
Maybe every time so we should think of something that maybe every time we film a FlossTube, we should do some things and then we put a little ching ching and save it up a little bit. If you do a little bit, it adds up over the year. Okay, so those are my plans.
Okay, I think I just have one more. And I think it's related to, yes. So I've heard stitchers talk about a thread a day or 2 threads a day. That's how, I also would like to finish the Fruits of Plenty. And I think I'm going to try, what does it feel like to do 2 lengths of white thread a day.
Hmm.
Now, again, just like with Whipco, I feel skeptical. I'm not sure this is a fit for me.
A day?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's a fit for me because like some nights I only do 4 lengths of thread. I'm just not really sure. But that is how I'm going to start, and I will revise as needed.
Good.
If needed.
It's so interesting, Anna. I think we're both very motivated to finish, but there's something about it that's blocked in both of us. Whether it's
It might be how much fabric there is for me.
like holding it.
Or the magnitude of the piece. Even though, I don't know, I know that you, just like you said with the money, like you just keep at it a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and it's fun to watch grow. I think I want to do a hem stitch finish on mine. I can already imagine it finished. It's so funny, but it's not finished. I have a lot left to do.
Yeah.
I love the white on the gray fabric. I love the white on your blue fabric. I think they're successful pieces. I think it's a beautiful design, and maybe when we actually finish it, we'll be able to identify more easily what it is. Do you have an idea for you?
I actually think it is, because we stitch in hand, I do think it's the amount of fabric holding, because then also like if you have to go below, it's like move the fabric.
Yeah. I'm also doing 1 strand on 32 because I started it very soon when I got back. Do you see my hands are crossed now?
Yeah, we're like in the...
I want to finish it. I'm going to finish it. 2024 is the year.
I thought it sort of was an awakening to me, because I'm like, oh, when did we start those? We must have started those in like 2022. Is this just... And I'm like, no, Anna. We started them very early on. We started them January of 2021, so we had just started stitching.
I know. It cracks me up.
So that's 3, Anna, that's
that we weren't afraid of that.
Years. Oh yeah, we're not afraid of that kind of stuff. 3 years. So it's time.
Yes, it is languishing. I have some sort of block. Our assignments that we've done, we used to say like, okay, before our next FlossTube, we're going to do this.
It worked for a while.
That propelled us forward some, and now we're ready to kind of do our own thing.
Okay.
So let's encourage each other.
Totally. And I'm sorry if I poo-pooed your 2 strands a day, because I'm thinking like for me, and I'm thinking like that's a big commitment every day.
It is. I thought about 1 strand.
Unless you take a strand and cut it in half.
No, I'm going to try 2 strands.
Yeah, I think it's great. Or you might find in the end, like you're going to do 14 strands in the week.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yes, that might be better.
Yeah. I know some people do like 2 strands in the morning on something before they go to work, but like both our jobs, I'm at school by 7:15, so
yeah, there's no way I'm gonna do that. Although I could do like before I start making dinner, maybe sit down and do that.
Actually, that might be nice.
There are some days when I get home a little late for that, but like you said, maybe I need to think more weekly instead of daily.
Actually, Anna, I like that, of thinking that's like your palate cleanser. Like you come home from school, you're just going to do that before you.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that.
I like that.
Maybe even for this next week, I'll try maybe just around 4 in the afternoon. I'll do that.
Good. All right, those were our plans. I'm
excited. My plans are still evolving. I think you've thought longer and more specifically, but I'm very excited about what I have in place.
Yeah.
I have a couple of other ideas, but I'm not ready to.
I've been on break a little bit longer than you. I love thinking about plans and thinking about, like, I really did enjoy Whipco. So then thinking, what's the alternative? And then also once like I commit to doing something like this 12 by 12, it's really fun thinking about the different and pulling out all the
way you have it typed up and everything. It's fun.
It's in color. Okay.
I would be joining you if I didn't have.
I'll just have to tell you all why I have it like this. And look at the color version on Instagram. My students are all into this site called Canva, Canva.
They're so good at it.
They're so good at it.
They make the prettiest things.
And we've been doing some programming, and they create all of their graphics that they're going to use in their program on Canva. It's awesome. And so I'm like, I want to use some Canva too. So I did this in Canva. It's fun. All right.
It's nice.
Let's see. Should we do our little shared supplies?
A little bit of shared supplies.
Yeah, a few things.
So I was feeling like our linen box needed a little boost. So I've ordered a few light colored linens online that haven't arrived yet. And then just 4 neutrals at our local store. Most of them 36, one of them is 40. So we'll pop those
Now
in the
that you're
box.
stitching on 56 count, you go.
No, so yeah, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do more teeny tiny stitching.
That's nice.
So we have just a nice.
You know, that's our next thing to do is we need to reorganize our linen.
I know we keep saying
saying that.
I need to go to the Container Store and get some boxes.
Yeah.
And then I received as a gift from my daughter the Pennsylvania Christmas Deer by Shakespeare's Peddler, which the minute I saw that, I'm like, that is for me. I am stitching that one day.
Yeah.
Carolyn may get
Great
to it
choice.
before me.
I got some red linen recently, and I'm like, ooh, that looked really good on that. All right, so let me think what I got a few things. I think some of these were enabled by Katie Strachan, who showed these. I almost instantly ordered them. These are, let me actually take this one out of the bag.
Oh, good, because I almost bought
Where did we see this one? Somebody recently showed this one. It's not Forgotten Farm. It's called Christmas Farm, and it's from 2010.
I just love the way the animals are in different
The animals are, it goes in like almost all four orientations. It's large though.
It is?
It's like going to be 10 inches by 10 inches.
Oh,
yeah.
That is. What?
Yeah. Let me see what, I was really surprised.
What's the stitch count?
Where did I see that? Because I thought it was going to be small, and then when I opened it up.
Speaking of that, how big is this?
It's 180 wide by 175 high, so pretty square, but 180. So if you're on 36 count, it's like 10 inches by 10 inches.
Fantastic.
Not going to stop me.
No.
All right, that one looked fun. And then I'm pretty sure.
Brenda?
Yeah, thank you. Pretty sure Katie showed both of these, whether she's working on them or she wants to. This is Not Forgotten Farm Basket of Cheer.
Love it.
That was really pretty. And the other one, a couple people have showed this one, Not Forgotten Farm. This is from this year. What's it called? Cinder Claws.
Adorable. I want a fluffy beard on that.
Oh.
I can't get over how big that first one
I
you
know,
showed is.
it's again, like it's hard to know. And this one too was larger than I thought. This one is, like it's going to end up being like 7 by 7 or something like that. So, okay, so those are some patterns I got. I'm in the Roxy Floss Co. Club.
You got your first ones in the mail?
This is my second. I got December. And,
oh, that's right.
So I'm not going to take these out because I want to record what they are. This is my January brights. So some blue, 3 ranges of blue, a green, and a gold. What I think I'm going to do, because in some ways I love the palettes, I'm going to write on the back of the floss what month they came from.
I like that idea.
So I can put them together. And then this was January with the neutrals, and they're really pretty. Some oranges. I love orange.
Those might be good in the Not Forgotten Farm one.
You know what? I was almost thinking all of these caught my eye for that house one because it has greens and blues. So
really pretty. Wow.
Really happy. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll start a thing with the floss on it.
A ring.
And I'll put what month they are because they do have nice palettes. And then the very last thing I got is I'm gonna do the Houses of Hawthorne Hollow.
Here she goes, everybody.
Totally decided, and I'm gonna start with this house. So I got all the MPI. Ooh, that's the pattern.
Here, just put something over that part.
I got all the MPIs for that. And we'll talk about this in a minute, but we met Olivia B up at Needle in a Haystack, and she's stitching this. It's beautiful.
This is gorgeous.
And she's stitching it on 40 count overcast, again from Cedar River linens, and her colors. I'm like, that's it.
We took one look at it. We're like, Carolyn, you should just order
that same thing. I was already starting to like pull linens for this, and I saw Olivia's. I'm like, nope, overcast. So I already ordered. And if I'm on 36, I needed a stitcher's half. So I ordered that from her. And whenever I get it, I'm starting it. And I think Olivia's just like doing a house at a time, and I'm gonna just get the MPIs as I need them, a house at a time.
I like that. I think that's fun.
And I probably had about 5 of them already in my stash. So.
Oh, good.
Good. All right, that's my good stuff. All right, so thumbs up.
All right, time for thumbs up.
All right.
My first thumbs up is just like a general thing that is going to preface my second and third thumbs up. So I have both grand girls. I have 2 grand girls. My son and his wife have a daughter, and my daughter and her husband have a daughter. They are together this week, and we live on opposite coasts of the United States, and just to have them in the same room and go to the park together and go get coffees together, and it's just
get stuck in the rain together.
Incredibly special time. My second thing is something that toddler E has been doing. We had a family birthday, and so she has been singing the happy birthday song. So one night we got out a single birthday candle, and we each held the candle, and we would sing like, happy birthday to Birdie, happy birthday to Carol. And then we'd each blow out a candle, and then when it's her turn, her mom's holding the candle, but we sing to Emma, and then she blows out. It's so hard for her to blow out the candle, and it's so cute. So we did this one night, you know, yay! Every time someone blows out the candle, singing again and again and again and again and again until the candle got small. And then the next night, she asked for it again. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Candle, fire. I think she calls it fire. So we did that again. And you know, these things that just happen in families, and they're just fun. Mm-hmm. And then for the littlest one, who we're just having so much fun, she's recently gotten to be a much steadier sitter. So you can just plop her on the floor and put all kinds of toys around her, and she just takes things and chews things and chats and chats and chats, and every once in a while starts to chill.
Yeah.
And we help her sit up again. Anyway, I love being a grandmother, and I love watching, we've talked about this many times, my own children and their partners parent. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a joy. And it's been a special week, and we have a few more days together.
I know. It's so great.
So I thought it sounds like had to just be all about that.
Yeah. We really have a large extended family. It's funny because her daughter's family is visiting, and I'm like, oh, we'll see them all the time. But you don't, because your family itself is big enough. So we were over there for one thing, and we'll see them again on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. So it'll be fun. All right. So my 3 thumbs up are just sort of at the end of the year, just so appreciative of our stitching community, and just how people are willing to just put themselves out there, and they're just making the world a better place by just being themselves and being out there and doing things. So I just wanted to highlight 3 people that I feel this way that from the recent week, essentially. First one is Becky. I've talked about her before on this, Becky, and she's Becky's House of Sewing. And I was watching her most recent episode. I think it was, I'm sorry, I can't remember which video it was. It would have been out about a couple weeks ago, so it would have been sort of a mid-December. But she goes through the process. She's designing a quilt right now. It's a pinwheel quilt. And she was just talking through her thought process. And we were talking about, like, we'd love to hear designers. Yes. And she had graph paper, and she first showed her inspiration of what she was thinking about, some fabric she was thinking about, different variations that she could put the block together to get different effects with the pinwheel. And it was fascinating. I love hearing how people think and the creative process they go through. Mm-hmm. So Becky, thank you so much for sharing that. It just gives, I mean, maybe as teachers too, like one of my favorite things is asking kids, oh, like, how are you thinking about that? Or what is your thought on that? Or how do you see that?
Agreed.
So love that. Next person is just Olivia of Olivia B. We've now met her in person twice, and it's just so wonderful. We said we're going to the Needle in a Haystack, and she's like, great, I'll come too, and I'll meet you there. It's just so fun. Seeing her and getting to know her a little better each time we see her. So thank you, Olivia, for joining us for that. And then the last person is Jan. She's one of our viewers. I've never met her before, but she was so generous. And she sent me via Olivia, which was really nice, this pattern. It's a little booklet. It's called Summer by Blackbird Designs. And she said that when she saw this pattern, which is the partridge, it's on a sewing box. She says, I just thought of you. And I think she had an extra copy, and she goes, I just wanted to give this to you.
It makes me think of you too, Carolyn.
So
Jan, you're right on.
I'm going to be stitching this sooner than later. But just so generous and so thoughtful. And again, putting yourself out there, being like, hey, this really reminds me of somebody. I want to give it to them. So I've thanked Jan email, and I've sent her a card. I'm also going to thank you now again, Jan. So thank you for thinking of me and your generosity. It's so, so appreciated. So just thumbs up, everybody. Just keep being who you are. And it just makes the world a better place. And don't underestimate just small acts of kindness or sharing or joining in with people, it just makes a big difference. All right, so Happy New Year. We will see you all 2024 again next.
Probably a whip parade next.
Oh yeah, let's do whip parade. Okay, until next time,
Happy crafting.
and stay curious. Bye everybody. Hello.
How does my bird look?
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, these look good. That fabric on the back is like genius.
I'm so glad you like it because
I love it.
It's unusual.